Hey guys, what's up? So today I want to talk about yo-yo dieting, breaking that diet cycle for good, and how GLP-1s can help us do that. So I'm going to dive into the science behind yo-yo dieting, the impact it has emotionally, mentally, physically, how GLP-1s can help us to break that cycle. I want to also talk about my personal experience, the impact that yo-yo dieting has had on me, and how GLP-1s have helped me now to lose 50 pounds, and I've been maintaining the same weight for 2 years at this point. And then I want to talk about who might need to actually stay on a GLP-1 in order to not have that whole yo-yo dieting come back again, so that we can maintain our weight for the rest of our lives. All right. So if you don't know me, I'm Jules. I started my weight loss journey back in 2022, September. That's when I jumped on to my first GLP-1, which was Ozempic. Then I went on to Wegovy. Then I went on to compounding tirzepatide. Then it was Mounjaro. And now currently I am maintaining weekly shots on Zepbound. This is the first time that I personally have been able to maintain a steady weight for this long, pretty much since I was a teenager. So let's dive into the science behind yo-yo dieting and why that could set us back and why it's so bad for us. Okay, so what is yo-yo dieting or weight cycling? I think we all have been there before. When we go on a diet, we restrict, we end up losing weight. Now we're smaller, the scale says we're smaller, we're lighter, we've lost that weight, but maintaining, that's the hard part, right? So eventually we end up regaining the weight, and now we weigh the same, if not more. But the reason why it's so detrimental to our metabolism, and the science, the research backs this up as well. When you go on a diet and you lose weight, the goal is to lose body fat, but invariably you're going to lose some lean muscle as well. It's really hard not to. It's possible. I mean, I didn't. I lifted weights the whole time through, so I actually gained muscle. So it is possible to maintain your lean muscle. It's even possible to build. But the vast majority of people who lose weight, you will lose some muscle mass, and it's expected. So as you diet and you lose weight and you lose some muscle mass, now you're smaller and you've lost some muscle. And if you regain that weight, the regain is body fat only. You're not really regaining muscle. So now you're at the same weight or even more, but it's all body fat. So your body composition has changed, and for the worse, because now your body fat percentage is higher. Because your body fat's more, your lean muscle is less. What that does to the metabolism is it lowers the metabolism because your body adapts. It's called metabolic adaptation. Your body will adapt to the needs, and your needs are less. So now you have to try and maintain on that new weight or more, but you have to eat less to do it because your metabolism's lower, and thus starts the cycle. And the more times there's yo-yo dieting, the more times the weight keeps going up and down, the more body fat you regain, the more your metabolism starts to tank, go lower. And now you, in order to even just maintain that weight, you're eating less and less and less. So it's not in your head where you're saying, I can barely maintain my weight on, whatever, pick the calorie amount, and it's really low, 1,300, 1,500, whatever that number is, and you're not crazy. It's true. The only way to get that metabolism to fire up and get higher is to build more muscle. So it's really hard when you don't know how to maintain the weight. And that's everybody. We're really good at losing weight. We know what to do. We've done it before. It's the maintaining part that's the difficult part. That's where the GLP-1s come into play. Absolutely, they help us get the weight off a lot faster and a little more efficiently. They rewire the brain, they do all these wonderful things. But I think it's also in the maintaining part that it is critical to help us to maintain it. There is a mental and emotional side to the yo-yo dieting as well. It's not just the physical side. It is mental anguish, right? When you lose the weight and you regain it. And the more times you do that, it's depressing and it really gets at your self-confidence and you really start questioning what is going on, why it's happening. So, self-blame happens and you think you're out of control and you can't figure it out. And the more times it happens, it just becomes an emotional toll on you and it weighs you down emotionally. So it is even more important to go in, especially on a GLP-1 journey, and say to yourself, I'm going to lose the weight and I'm going to get there, but I'm also going to maintain this time forever. That's just not an option. It's going to happen. And that's what I said when I did it. I'm like, I'm not doing this up and down thing anymore. I can't take the emotional toll or all of that energy of up and down constantly. It's too much. It's too much of my energy. And I want to spend my energy doing other things in life and enjoying the people that I'm around and the work that I'm doing and the vacations that I want to take and all the wonderful other things. I don't want to spend so much of my brain energy on thinking about weight loss, weight regain, weight maintenance, calories, macros, all of that stuff. Yeah, it's in the background now, but before it was in the foreground. So in comes the GLP-1s, this miracle, which I really do think we are so fortunate now. And it is kind of a miracle that we're getting. It is a tool in the toolbox. It is definitely not a standalone therapy, right? We all know, I think, you can't just take a GLP-1 and change nothing. That will not lead to good results. It just won't. So now you have the GLP-1 and you're using it for your weight loss. But now you hit your maintenance and you're going, now what do I do? What does maintenance look like? How do I keep this weight off? How do I, keep my sanity about all of this? Because the GLP-1, it rewires your brain. We know that. It helps to rewire that signaling in your hormones, right? Your appetite and your satiety hormones. It regulates that. So what we don't want to do is just jump off the GLP-1, because that, in the research, and I'm sure you know plenty of people, and go read the comments, the vast majority of people, not everybody, but truly about 90 to 95% of people who are taking a GLP-1, if they go off the GLP-1 for whatever the reasons, they start to regain the weight. They'll regain as much or more of the original weight lost. That then becomes another yo-yo cycling. And I've seen this a lot. Someone goes off a GLP-1 and now they want to go back on the GLP-1, which is fine. And you can do that and it's always there. But now they're having a harder time. They are saying that they're not feeling it as much. The appetite suppressant isn't there. They're still eating. It hasn't kicked in. They're not losing weight. What's going on? And it's the same thing with the yo-yo dieting. You lose the weight, you lose your body fat, you lose some lean muscle. Now you regain strictly body fat. You jump back on the GLP-1, but the fact is now your metabolism is lower. The signaling is probably a little bit confused as well. So if you're going back on a GLP-1, it may take higher doses to get to the same level that you had before with the suppression and the weight loss and the insulin sensitivity and all the things that it was doing. So you have to be patient, whether you're going on it for the first time or you're going on it again for a second time, you need to be patient. But what we don't want to do, in my opinion, is go on and off of GLP-1, because that just becomes another cycle of yo-yo dieting. And that's really unhealthy physically, mentally, and emotionally for us. It just will destroy you. The best thing to do, if you're someone that cannot go off of a GLP-1, and I do believe that is the majority of us who are going to need it indefinitely. And again, your chemistry might change, maybe your metabolic system changes at some point in the future, and you can try and wean your way down or whatever, and experiment with that. And that's, if you're one of those people where you can go off of it, that's amazing. More power to you. I think that's great. I, for one, do not intend to go off. I have been metabolically dysfunctional for decades. So I'm not going to lie to myself and think that, in 2 or 3 years of me getting, more insulin sensitive and losing the weight and whatnot, that all of a sudden my body's like, all right, I'm good to go. Like we don't need this medication anymore. I really don't think that's the case. And I do not want to regain weight, and I do not want my, health markers to, plummet again. So my intention is to stay on it. No more yo-yo dieting for me. And I think that is, for the most amount of people, that's where you need to be. Now, what your dose looks like, what your maintenance looks like, and how much, and all of that, you're gonna have to experiment, because nobody knows. Even your doctors don't know. It's how you feel as an individual. So to, again, avoid all that yo-yo dieting, up and down crazy stuff, when you get to the point of, I hit my goal weight, now what? You're gonna have to stay on that GLP-1 to whatever extent. And it may mean that you play around with the dosage and the timing. I'm still doing that now. I'm 2 years into maintenance, and I'm still kind of experimenting and playing around with, the dosage and the timing and things of that nature to see what works best for me. And I'll make more videos on that to let you know what's been working. So lately what I've done was I started stretching it out a little bit, because I was taking it weekly, and now I've gone to 8 days. So I was actually doing 6 days. Then I went to 8 days. And now I'm thinking maybe I'll try stretching it out a little bit more. And the reason is because I'm actually feeling more appetite suppression, and I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised by that. But I think my theory is that it's doing something to like change something up in your body. Like anything else, when you kind of change something up or you change a stimuli, I think that it alters something, and in a positive way. So I'll let you know how that goes and how far out maybe I could stretch it. I certainly don't want to get to a point where, I'm ravenous hungry or my brain is going crazy with food noise. That I don't want to go to. And I certainly don't want to regain weight. And I've stayed steady at my weight. I do allow myself about a 5-pound leeway, up or down, which is normal, I think, for many people. Some people give themselves even a 10-pound leeway, because there's always fluid fluctuations, food. There's so many different variables. It doesn't necessarily mean it's body fat that you're regaining. You do not have to be on and off a diet for the rest of your life. That is the message I'm saying. If you're on a GLP-1 or not, you can break the diet cycle. And for your own sanity, you need to. I know that I got to a point where I was just done with diets. And then it got to a point where I wasn't happy with my weight. So I really wanted to get it off. And look, I hesitated on going on a GLP-1 and tried to do it alone for 6 months on my own, pulling out all the stops, doing everything possible. And when the scale wouldn't budge, and I went on a GLP-1, and I went, wow, this is a game changer. This truly is a game changer. It is changing my metabolic health, my insulin sensitivity. The food noise is gone. It was like a switch, like, wow. I didn't even know it existed. I mean, I kind of knew it was there, but now that it was switched off, it was such an incredible feeling. I never want to go back to that food noise ever again. So in order to avoid all of that and the yo-yo dieting and all the craziness that we've all gone through, let's stick to the lifestyle changes. Let's stick to the new behaviors and the new habits that we have helped ourselves with to get here, along with staying consistent with that GLP-1. Again, whatever it means to you, whatever your dose is, whatever your dosing schedule is, figure out what works for you, and what works for you today may change tomorrow. But it is definitely something that is a game changer to eliminate all that yo-yo dieting forever. So let me know in the comments, have you struggled with yo-yo dieting? Have you struggled with, your weight up and down throughout the years? What have you done about it? Are you on a GLP-1? How has it helped you? What are the positive things that you've gotten out of it? And I will see you in my next video. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell when you want to be notified with the next video coming, and stay strong.